Guess who?
Hello, I'm the Cat.
And I'm the Cat.
And together,
we're the Cat and the Cat. And welcome to this very spooky episode of the Cat and the Cat.
Indeed. And today, we're going to take a look at the top 5 games that got under our skin.
We would have done the top 5 horror games, but that would have been boring.
So, to spice things up, we decided to throw in some games that aren't strictly horror games.
Oh, and this is strictly our opinion, so if you don't find these games particularly scary, that's fine.
Fear is subjective after all. And with that being said, let's get into the countdown.
Majora's Mask. This game is widely considered one of the most depressing and dark out of all the Zelda games. Some even consider it the best that the series has to offer. In some respects, they aren't wrong. This game gets under my skin for the use of its soundtrack and compelling and tragic characters. For example, there is this song in the game known as the Song of Healing, which, no joke, is what I believe is what depression sounds like. Speaking of depression, this game is filled with it, Anju and Kaife finally being reunited only to be crushed by the moon, the Deku Butler suddenly grieving over his son, a little girl that's forced to fend off against Gibdos from taking her father away. Mixed in with all this sadness is a plentiful amount of darkness and extremely creepy areas and enemy designs.
These designs, the atmosphere was so amazing, it managed to spawn one of the best creepypastas known to date on the internet, Ben Drown.
That's a topic for another day.
You shouldn't have done that.
Did you hear that? Yeah? Well, I'll finish up the segment and
I'll deal with this.
Despite that story, this game sends shivers down my spine. Not to the point where I'm terrified, but just enough so I'm uneasy. Now for a more traditional horror game, Resident Evil, the remake on PS4 to be exact. This game just oozes dread from every moment you play. It's even apparent in the darn start screen.
Resident Evil.
If you manage to get past the start screen, it only gets worse from there. Essentially, you're all alone in this decrepit mansion and forced to find a way out.
Oh, and you have to manage your supplies and stay alive against devious traps and nightmarish creatures.
Which wouldn't be too bad, but once you kill an enemy, they don't stay dead. Let me explain. Whenever you kill a zombie, if you don't shoot them in the head or burn their bodies, eventually they'll come back up as Crimson Heads and they'll be twice as strong and fast.
You couldn't ask for a more perfect horror game than this little nightmare.
Ah yes, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty.
On the surface, this game shouldn't be very scary. I mean, sneaking around could be very tense sometimes, but nothing to be afraid of, right?
This game manages to scare you on a much deeper level than most horror games. It more or less scares you on a more existential level. Throughout the game, you are lied to all the time, and it almost makes you feel that the only reason you got this far is because you were supposed to, and you're nothing but a pawn of the digital age. Because of this, whenever I go back to replay this game, I never feel like I'm a super stealthy spy that's trying to save the world. Rather, I feel like an expendable pawn, and I have yet to see another game make me feel like that.
Our beloved monsters, enjoy yourselves.
Alien Isolation. This game is a marvel and extremely faithful for its stage design and sound design. On top of that, they managed to capture the true nature of the xenomorph perfectly throughout the gameplay. It's heavy-footed and it is not easily distracted. Oh, and if you stay in the same place for too long, it'll just sniff you out and eat you.
Not to mention the inventive crafting system that forces you to use your resources effectively. You can use that circuit to build a health kit, or would you rather use it to make a sound grenade to distract the alien?
This game forces you to improvise, strategize, and to not die.
Oh yes, number 1. What game shall it be? Will it be gory, creepy, disturbing? Well, for me personally, no other game will get under my skin more than Earthbound did. Now, on the surface, Earthbound doesn't seem remotely scary. It's very colourful, it's very quirky, and a great RPG that seems to be set in the real world. At the time, a lot of RPGs were set in fantasy lands or in the medieval period, which makes this game all the more memorable. But despite all that, because this game is supposedly set in the real world, it carries over some very heavy themes and imagery, like police brutality, gangs, and cults. A standout moment for me would have to be the final battle with Gygas. Not only is this boss fight music melodic and creepy, but if you were to look closely at the patterns, you can see what appears to be a baby. For all these reasons and more, Earthbound really got under my skin, because it fooled me into thinking it was going to be a basic, colourful and quirky adventure. But what I got was a nightmare.